The date finally has come. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how I read, map, and understand market structure to identify my daily bias. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, as the title says, I'm going to show you exactly how I identify my daily bias for my daily setups. So if you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe, comment, and like. I'm trying to grow the community, and the only way to do that is to get to more people. So as you already know, guys, I only trade US 30. So all the examples that you're going to see here is going to be basically using US 30. But you can use this technique or way to identify the daily bias of any pair. GJ, Gold, NAS, anything that you can trade. With this, you're going to be able to understand the daily bias and what exactly market's going to do next. So you can basically be looking for a good setup on the day. So yeah, let's jump right into it. All right, so the first thing that you need to understand is that if you don't understand market structure properly, you're never gonna be able to understand what market's doing. So I divide market structure in two ways. I do external structure and I also do internal structure. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple examples so you guys can understand what I mean by this. So internal structure is basically that structure that plays between a swing high and swing low. For example, like say that we're creating higher highs and higher lows here, right? So my swing high is gonna be my higher high here, and my swing low is gonna be my higher low. So everything that happens between these two swing highs and swing lows is gonna be internal structure. So for example, the overall trend is in an uptrend here because we're creating higher highs and higher lows, but internally we're creating lower highs and lower lows. So the internal structure is in a downtrend. So that's what I mean by external structure, internal structure. So in this case, the upside structure, which is the one that is on an uptrend, is the external structure here. Okay, external structure, and the one that is inside is gonna be internal structure. So that's the first thing that you guys have to understand when you're reading market structure, because if you don't understand what market's doing internally and also externally, you always gonna be kind of lost into the market, and you're gonna be looking for buys when market is in a sale, or you're gonna be looking for a sale when market is totally on the buy side. All right, so that's the main two things here that you have to pay attention to, and we're gonna give you a couple examples, and we're gonna go through that so you guys can understand pretty well to read and understand market structure this way, the way that I see it on a daily basis. All right. A quick information before we continue with the video. If you ever want to learn how I trade or trade live with me, I have a live trading group where we trade 4 times a week, literally live. You're going to see me there doing the markups, taking the trade live, managing my risk, managing my stop loss, literally everything that you need to understand when taking a live trade. You're going to see it there with me. You also going to be learning exactly my strategy while we do the analysis and take the trade live. You guys can see that this week we're doing pretty great. We're already making some profits. We have a couple of setups that I've been sending. So I also send the signals when we're not in the Zoom calls. But you guys can see that I send the signals. I send exactly what I'm thinking. And you guys can see the results so far. So this week we're doing pretty great. Last week we would have an amazing week. Everybody that was on FTMO account literally just start making 3%, 4% on their account in just 1 week of trading on the live trading group. You guys can see here we have literally this guy have $300 and made over $70, which based on percentage is huge. Here you guys can see one student make over $12,000 in just 1 week on the trading live group. Here we have almost 4%. Here we have 3%. Here we have almost 3%. And you guys can see, so if you're interested in taking trade live with me, I'm gonna put the link in the description below. Go ahead and join the group, and I see you inside. So let's go back now to the video. All right, so one more time, external structure and internal structure. So when we are on when it comes to market structure, we're gonna see higher highs and higher lows. So every time market do a pullback or a correction, this move here, right, those pullbacks are gonna basically be reflected into the lower time frame as a minor trend on a downtrend. So even though we're in an uptrend here, those pullbacks is gonna be more like lower highs and lower lows internally on the 15 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. So you're gonna be having a structure inside of another structure. So uptrend structure, we're gonna have minor structure here. So how the market, when is the right time for you to look for a buy? Just a quick example here. If market is in an uptrend, but the internal structure is in a downtrend, you need to wait for the internal structure to switch into an uptrend in order for you to look for a buy. Because yeah, even though the market overall is in an uptrend, the minor structure or the internal structure is in a downtrend. So for me to be looking for a buy, I need to wait for the market to break a structure or get to our order block and give me any kind of price action that give me the idea the market is looking to continue the overall trend, which is the buy structure, right? So this is basically what we have to make sure to understand, that when we're looking for literally to trade it, right? So how I read or how I identify my daily bias, understanding the simple concept, the upside structure or external structure or the internal structure here. So the way that I do is super simple. I'm gonna look for the daily. The first thing that I'm looking for is daily, just to understand what market is doing. Are we creating higher highs, higher lows, or lower highs and lower lows? So I go to the daily here, and I start reading market structure. For example, here in US 30, we have lower highs and lower lows, right? So the last thing the market did was lower low, lower high, lower low, and lower high. So we are literally creating lower highs and lower lows. So the daily is on a downtrend. Now I'm gonna drop to the 4 hour and see exactly what market is doing here, right? So what we see here on the 4 hour, right? We understand that we're creating lower lows and lower highs, but the market looks bullish or bearish here on the 4 hour. You guys can see that we have a bullish kind of momentum on the 4 hour. So that means that I can now be looking for a sale, because even though we have the overall trend on a sale internally here, the 4 hour internally, because we have here a lower high, lower low, and then we have a higher high, and probably here a higher low. So internally here we have an uptrend. So for me, looking for a sale here is not a good idea. I need to wait for the market to start going back into a downtrend. So I don't know if you guys are basically following what I'm saying here. I know my overall trend is in a downtrend, but when I go to the 4 hour, I see that the trend is on it's literally on an uptrend on the 4 hour. So if I'm gonna be looking for a sale, I need to wait for the market to switch back into a downtrend, at least on the 1 hour or 15 minutes. So this is how I understand and identify my daily bias. The daily is in a downtrend, but internally I have the 4 hour on an uptrend. So what I have to wait for, I go to the 1 hour and I need to wait for this structure to switch into a downtrend if I'm gonna go with the overall trend. If not, I can look for buys and take buys here. But as I'm gonna be trading with the trend, I'm only gonna be waiting for the market to switch into a downtrend. So my daily bias, I'm looking for sales overall. But what I have to wait for, I have to wait for this trend or this minor trend that is going on internally had to switch into a downtrend for me to look for that trade. So I know my daily bias is sales. I only have to wait for confirmation that market switch into a downtrend. So what I do is drop to the 15 minutes and start looking for order blocks. Here on 15 minutes, I have a 15 minutes order block here. I also have another order block here. So for me, I only need the market to come back into these levels here, right? And look for a sale, because the overall trend already getting into a downtrend structure. So even though we see the 1 hour here, we can say that we have the 1 hour on an uptrend structure because we have a higher high and then a higher low, but 15 minutes is already giving me that downtrend structure, so I can be looking for a sell. So the overall trend, the daily bias is sales. Just because the daily was in a downtrend, then the 4 hour was basically on an internal break, on an uptrend, but then 15 minutes is in a downtrend. So here, what I have to be looking for is sales. I'm gonna repeat it one more time. It might be complicated a little bit more the way that I maybe explained it here, but I'm gonna make sure that you guys do understand it. If I'm looking for my daily bias, I'm gonna pay attention to 3 things: the daily, or 3 times frame, the daily, the 4 hour, 1 hour, or 15 minutes. So it can be 15 minutes or 1 hour. So the daily bias on the day is telling me that we're in a downtrend. When I go to the 4 hour, I see that the structure is in an uptrend. But then when I go to the 15 minutes, market already switching into a downtrend. So let's say that you would have seen something like this when you're analyzing the sharks, right? And you're looking for your daily bias. You see that, okay, I have a downtrend structure on the daily. The 4 hour is in an uptrend here internally, right? I'm talking about internally, right? And then I drop to the 15 minutes. So if you see something like this, even though you have the daily on a downtrend, you cannot be looking for a sell here. So your daily bias at this point, like how the market looks right now, is for buys, just because of the structure that you're looking at. So what you have to do, you have to look for your possible levels that you want to be trading. For example, this order block here, or this order block, and look for a possible buy. But what happens if markets start breaking a structure and start giving you lower lows and lower highs? That give you a confirmation that the overall trend already taking the control of the structure one more time, and now you have to be looking for the sale. And that's basically what happens here. We have the break, we have a new lower low here, then now we have a new lower high, and then a new lower low. So the structure is in a downtrend. Now I have to be looking for a sale. So my daily bias at this point is sales. Before, one more time, just so you guys can understand, before was the daily bias at the moment that you're trading is buy because of the structure. But if market break a structure and get into a downtrend, now your daily bias switch into a downtrend. Now you have to be looking for sale. So it's pretty simple to understand the daily bias as far as you understand what market is doing internally and externally. Externally, we're in a downtrend. Internally, we were on an uptrend here until market broke a structure here. So we were internally here on an uptrend, so we had to be looking for buys, even though the daily is on a downtrend. We wait for the market to break a structure here. Now we have the internally, basically with the external on the same direction. Now we have to be looking for sales here and take advantage of the overall trend. So this is how I read my daily bias. I make sure that the external and internal structure are basically on the same direction. If there's not, then I wait for it, or I just take whatever I see at the moment. So if I see the internal is on an uptrend, I continue looking for buys until market switch into a downtrend, because the downtrend, the market's in a downtrend, but internally it's on an uptrend. So I cannot be looking for sell at that moment. And that's the whole point here. So if you want to be really good at this, I know it might sound complicated. The only thing that you have to pay attention to is what happens internally structure. Okay, you know your swing high and swing low on the 4 hour or the daily is in a downtrend, but what's happening inside of the internal structure? Are we in an uptrend or minor uptrend? If we are, you cannot be looking for a sell. So your daily bias, even though it's a sale overall, you cannot take a sell at that moment. So you either take the daily bias at that moment is a buy, or you wait for the market to switch into a downtrend and then go for the sale. So that's how simple your daily bias could be found when you're trading on a daily basis. So if I wake up in the morning and I see something like this, like this, I'm gonna be looking for buys, right? Because market's in an uptrend internally, right? And what I wait for, if I don't want to basically go in with against the overall trend, then I go into wait for the market to get into a downtrend, and then I look for the sale. So that's simple, guys. I hope you guys understand this kind of concept. It's super simple, not complicated. It's only internal, external structure. You only need to understand where market is every single time that you're gonna be taking a trade. And if it's against your trade or against your trend, and you don't want to go against the overall trend, then just wait for the market to internally switch into a downtrend or uptrend depending on the structure. So I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of content. If you understood this video, because I know it's kind of complicated, make sure to let me know in the comment below. If you guys want me to do another video more in details of the daily bias, maybe explaining a little bit more about it, just let me know in the comment below. I'm gonna be more than happy to do so. And yeah, make sure to subscribe, comment, and like. And as I said, I'm trying to grow the community, and the only way to do that is by getting to more people. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I see you guys in the next one. And remember, if somebody asks you what we do, you just said that we just trade. Peace out.